Uh, Power to the people. NBC News is reporting that Chamel Abdul Karim, the man accused of setting a warehouse on fire after righteously criticizing his boss for not paying us enough to live, was inspired by Luigi Mangione. Okay, NBC News. Look, let's watch this real quick, then I'll give my analysis. Oh, that's just audio. That's just music that I probably can't listen to on YouTube. Oh, now it's just no music. Whoa. The aftermath. Okay, they're just showing it again. Anyway, so this guy says NBC News is reporting that the man accused of I think I already read that, but was inspired by Luigi Mangione. NBC News. If you are trying to propagandize people against this type of action, do not compare him to Luigi. Luigi Mangione is like honestly one of the most revered like political figures of our time. Most people crossing political lines love Luigi. Number one, he is hot as fuck. Look at this dude. Look at this face. Like this dude could have been like an actor or something. Like he is, as Trump would say, straight out of central casting. And so you gotta, if you want people to, but also he killed like a healthcare CEO, one of the most despised people, like types of people on the planet is like healthcare CEOs. People are generally becoming a lot less sensitive to this panic, moral panic around killing billionaires, because most people kind of understand that billionaires just have so much wealth that it's like, I think they have an intuitive understanding that that is wrong, right? And that there is eventually a line that will be crossed where people, like anybody, there for everybody out there, there is a amount of money and an amount of evil that a person can be, that once they cross that, they will justify killing them, or they're killing essentially, right? And so that's already happened for huge segments of the population, right and left, when it comes to Luigi Mangione. So if your goal is to try and stop people from like doing more of this stuff in the future, stop comparing like the people who do it to Luigi Mangione, because you're really improving how everybody sees them or whatever. I'm personally like, you know, like neutral, I guess, when it comes to acts of vigilantism, like both of these cases, to be honest. I don't think vigilantism is like the way that we're going to actually get true change. However, like I don't really care that much if somebody, because I just see it as a inevitability. Like I'm not one of these people who pretends like that like people aren't human beings who have emotions and are going to react to certain things differently, and some people will react in ways that are violent or ways that are, you know, doing property crimes like this or whatever. Like that is just straight up an inevitability when you eviscerate a population too much. I'm not going to pretend like this is some individual failure on their part, because I know that within our population, like within America, there are hundreds of thousands of people who would be willing to do this exact same thing if their lives are bad enough. So if the system makes everybody's lives bad enough, this is the inevitable outcome. And I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I'm going to feel bad for these corporations that this is the inevitable outcome, or feel bad for the person who got shot or their family or whatever, for these outcomes that are inevitable under the system that we live in. I'm not going to feel bad about it. So, but I am neutral because I don't really care. Like, I don't really see this as the way out of the system that we're in. I think organized acts of civil disobedience and organized acts of violent resistance or whatever will always do significant, will always be significantly better than disorganized acts of vigilantism. That's my personal opinion out there. So you can take that opinion to the bank. They probably won't give you anything, but you can take it there and light it on fire. Sorry, I had to pull it back. I had to wrap it all back around to the original clip that we were talking about. So there you go. We got another one. I always take these clips with a grain of salt as well, because so this is Power to the People, says, happening now. Another massive warehouse fire has broken out, this time in Bakersfield, California. It's a rebellion actually brewing in the Imperial core. I take this all with a grain of salt because I don't get to see the history of like where this video came from. Sometimes I think people get duped a lot on social media of taking videos that happened in the past and like assuming that they're like happening in the present or whatever, but it's possible or whatever, right? So I always say like I'm going to assume that it's true until like assume that what they're saying is true until someone proves it otherwise. But just remember that there's a possibility that it might not be. But here's another video. We covered it a little bit yesterday. In Ontario, California, there was a warehouse fire that was started by a disgruntled employee saying, you should have paid us better or whatever. And so this is apparently another one, so let's watch. Okay, that wasn't a whole lot of info, but he says another massive warehouse fire is a rebellion actually brewing in the Imperial core. My guess would be no, and here's why. Uh, so individual acts of vigilantism are never going to lead to like, well, I guess rebellion is different than revolution, but are not the steps to lead towards like revolutionary spirit, revolutionary action, right? Um, unless these like I would prefer if you're going to engage in acts like this of essentially civil disobedience, like breaking the law in a property crime sort of way for like a cause, this cause being, you know, global pedo elites like capitalists. Please stop taking like 100% of our profits away from us, of the work that we contribute, and please just pay us enough so that we can, you know, maybe like once every 4 years go on vacation or something, you know, like that's like kind of the cause that these people I guess are who are engaging in these acts are. But I would prefer if you're going to engage in acts of civil disobedience that you do it as a part of a network, of a coordinated movement that is trying to achieve a particular goal or outcome, and that goal or outcome is out there for everybody to see. um, you know what I'm saying? Like that's kind of how I would prefer if you're going to engage in acts. I'm not a fan of vigilantism in and of itself. But I am like perfectly fine with acts of civil disobedience or breaking the law, particularly when it comes to property crimes, not necessarily when it comes to violent crimes. Uh, breaking the law for a good cause or whatever. But I think that it's best done when it's a part of a mass movement that has like that is just out there and for everybody to see, as opposed to individual acts of disconnected, you know, uh disconnected like civil disobedience. So anyway, there you go. There's another one. Maybe it'll start happening more and more. Maybe this will be what people find to be the easiest way to vent their frustrations with the capitalist system that we live under and how grinding and monotonous and soul destroying it is. So, you know, who knows? I don't think it'll impact that much change though, unless it becomes an actual coordinated effort amongst like an actual group that is like planning these actions and stuff. So that's, yeah, that's my personal opinion.